Hello, Sober Gang. This is Craig Beck, aka the Stop Drinking Expert, and the author of Alcohol Lied to Me, a book that has helped hundreds of thousands of people to quit drinking and find their own happy, sober lives. And welcome into the Happy Sober Podcast. Now, should go without saying, if you are worried about your drinking, do not be one of the majority. The majority of problem drinkers stick their head in the sand, stick their fingers in their ears, and go la, 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 la for a very long period of time until they have to take action. Take action today. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, sign up for the webinar. I'll tell you more about how the process works and why it's so bizarrely different to everything else that's available out there. Now, as you know, I've been asking my mailing list members a simple question. Why? Why do you drink alcohol? It must be giving you something. And what's stopping you from getting started on your own sober journey? And Livia has replied. Livia, is that a Romanian surname I see? It looks suspiciously like a Romanian surname to me, and I should know because I am married to a very beautiful lady from Bucharest. So why does Livia drink? And this is an interesting answer. 1, lack of confidence. Helps me talk to people and face difficult situations easier. It also helps me socialize. Great statement. Let's talk about that. It helps reduce intense stress when I don't have the energy to work out or do yoga and if I'm overwhelmed. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. I haven't started the program, but I've read your book. All right. Okay, thank you, Livia. Let's talk about that socializing confidence thing. Because there is a notion that alcohol gives you confidence. And it's a notion propagated by the alcohol industry because it's a very positive message and they want to spin it. And in fact, there is even a long-established phrase for it. We call it Dutch courage, don't we? And if you have to go make a speech on stage in front of hundreds of people, someone will pass you a glass of whiskey or brandy and say, here, have some Dutch courage. But do you know where the phrase comes from? Well, it goes back to medieval times when the British and the Dutch were fighting each other. And the British Army used to start this rumor, that they were so powerful, so invincible, other foreign armies would have to get drunk before they would have the courage to fight them. And at the time they were fighting the Dutch. And this is where the phrase came from. You're going to need some Dutch courage. You're going to have to get drunk before you have the nerve to take us lot on, basically. So that's where it comes from. And there are various other theories about where it came from, but that's the one that kind of resonates with me. Now, the truth is, the notion of alcohol creating courage, creating confidence is founded in history. Because back in the day when wars were fought between armies, when they were really fought on battlefields, as in two groups of men would turn up on opposite sides of a field and run at each other with swords and spears and shields and all that sort of stuff. War was fought really bloody and face-to-face, hand-to-hand combat, swords going into guts and all this stuff. And basically, if you were in the army back in the day and you were on the front line, you were going to die. There's no way avoiding it. The front line of soldiers are cannon fodder. They're just going to get minced up in a swirling blast of flashing blades. So here's the question. Imagine you're a king or a queen or an emperor or a commander of an army. How do you get several thousand men to willingly charge to their certain bloody and gruesome death? Well, what you don't want in that moment is a bunch of really intelligent, switched on and savvy guys. You want a bunch of idiots. You want a bunch of stupid men. And how do you make human beings stupid? You give them alcohol. And so before the big battle, the commanders would hand out the rum, hand out the brandy, and all of the armed men would get a little bit drunk. Then they would fire them up with patriotism and get them hyped up, ready for battle. So they're all roaring and charging and drunk. And when the commander gave the word, all these men would go charging to their certain death. Does that really sound like alcohol gave them confidence? Does that really sound like alcohol gave them courage? Or does it, in fact, sound like alcohol made decent, hardworking men willingly charge to their own death? Did it make them stupid? And that's the truth. So, Livia, I hear what you're saying, that it helps you socialize. It gives you confidence, but it doesn't really. It just makes you a little bit stupid. It turns off your filters. And you've seen this yourself, Livia. I'm sure. Guys want to talk to girls. That's the way of things. And often the only way a man will pluck up the courage to talk to a beautiful woman in a bar or a pub or a nightclub is to get drunk first. Because men fear rejection more than anything else. Rejection really hurts us guys. And so we have to have a few drinks, and then we come up to you and go, "Oh, can I buy you a drink?" We slur and we stumble, and our breath smells, and we stagger a little bit. All right, he had the nerve to approach, but is that guy now more attractive because he's a little bit more stupid than he normally would be? Of course not. And Livia, I'm sure you've been approached by guys, and you know how unattractive it is to be hit on by a drunk guy. So you may feel like you have more confidence. You may feel braver and with more courage. But the truth is you're just less aware and less able to use the full capacity of your brain to do a thorough risk assessment. I live in Cyprus, a Mediterranean island off the coast of Greece. It's very hot here, and so it's party town. And there's a town about 40 minutes drive from where I live called Ayia Napa. It's where all the young kids go. And if you go to Ayia Napa, by the way, if you buy one shot, they give you 10 free. It's carnage in Ayia Napa. And every year, a young man will die jumping from one balcony to the next, or attempting to show off to the girls. Why did he do that? Because he had alcohol in his system. So he was feeling very confident that he could do it. He was feeling very brave. He was feeling very courageous. The reality is he was stupid. So alcohol doesn't give you confidence. It dampens your intellectual capacity. And you might think, okay, Craig, yeah, all right, very good. I buy it. All right. But that doesn't help me with problem one. That doesn't help me with socializing. I feel socially awkward, Craig. I had a solution to it. Alcohol was my solution, and now you're taking it away from me. Yeah. Because you're covering up an area of your personality that needs work, that needs growth. And that's never the solution. That's the lazy way. That's the path of least resistance. And anything that is easy is not worth having. All right. So if you find it difficult to socialize and you have low confidence in social environments and you're afraid of talking to people in social environments, then, like I've talked about previously, fear is the sign that you should do it. We've got this the wrong way around. Fear isn't a sign that says walk away, don't do it. Fear is a window of opportunity. And you have to start saying to yourself, well, if I'm afraid of it, I have to do it. And the only way you get better at socializing and talking to strangers is by doing it, by exposing yourself repeatedly to the thing you're most afraid of. Let me tell you a story. I'm worried that this video will go on too long, but let me tell you, this is important. I got married when I was like 19 years old. I was a baby. I had no idea who I was as a man, all right? And I got divorced when I was in my mid-30s. So that meant that I was single again at the age of like 35 with no experience of talking to women. Terrified of talking to women. Went to an all-boys school. No experience from my childhood to call on. I had a brief window when I met my first wife and we settled down, and then that was done. So here I am, 35. No idea how to talk to women. How am I going to meet the woman of my dreams? How am I going to meet my soulmate? So I got myself a coach, a confidence coach. And all he did was expose me to the thing that I was most afraid of. He would have me go out and talk to the most beautiful women on the planet. Just walk up to them in the street. And we did this for 48 hours. We did it every day. He would just pick out supermodels and say, go talk to her. And you know what happened the first day? I approached maybe 12, 15 stunningly beautiful women, and they all told me to fuck off. They all looked at me like I was dirt on their shoes. I mean, talk about crushed, talk about rejection. I was a wounded man. I went to bed that night thinking, my God, I must be the ugliest man alive. I'm worthless. I'm worth nothing. Everyone hates me. And then the next day, something changed. Something had changed in my head overnight. I did it again. I approached all these beautiful women. And they loved it. I got telephone numbers. I arranged dates. I had pleasant conversations with people. I laughed. I joked. They laughed. We had an amazing time. What happened? Did I meet really horrible people on day one and really lovely people on day two? No. Something changed within me. I exposed myself to what I was afraid of. And then I got to the point where I was like, it's water off a duck's back. I've been told to F off so many times. It no longer affects me. It no longer has any impact on me. It's meaningless to me. It's happened so many times. I'm blasé about being rejected. And once I stopped caring about being rejected, once I stopped taking it personally, everything changed. So look, if you're using alcohol because of your lack of confidence, you are taking the loser's route. You are taking the comfort zone route, and that is a ticket to mediocre. You have to expose yourself to what you're afraid of. That's the only way you'll grow, okay? Look, we can talk, point two, it reduces intense stress when I don't have the energy to work out or do yoga and if I'm overwhelmed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it does, because it's an anesthetic. You know, if you feel stressed and anxious and someone gives you an anesthetic, you go, oh, whoa, I don't feel as stressed and anxious anymore. Yeah. But what happens the next day? The next day, the drug is going to try and get you to drink again rather than go to the gym and work out and exercise like you'd planned to. So it's not that, oh, okay, on Monday, I'm going to skip the gym and drink instead. That's fine. Tomorrow I'll be back at the gym. That's not how it works. You have to pay the price for the previous day. You don't get the anesthetic for free, Olivia. You're going to have to pay a price. And the price is the evil clown arm wrestling you into repeating more of the same on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you have to pay the price for Tuesday. Do you see where this goes? It's a downward spiral that never ends. So you can say to me, it helps me reduce stress, and I'll agree with you. But then I'll say, but what's the price of that? How much are you paying for that really minor relief? And the answer is a huge price, right? So I hope that helps you change your framing of this. If it doesn't, email me and we can talk more. But these are not good reasons to drink poison every night, Olivia. They do not justify the routine daily drinking of attractively packaged poison. They are just plausible deniability. They are excuses that seem to have some validity to them, but not really. Thanks so much for being with me. If you're worried about your drinking, don't take the loser path. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, sign up for the webinar, and I'll explain to you how my process works so much better than everything else out there. And it's a boast that I'm proud to make. Thanks a lot. See you soon.